My name is Joseph, and I want to welcome you to the first podcast session in the series on real estate investing in Nigeria. For many years, Nigeria has been the go-to investment destination, but along the line, we've had issues with especially our diaspora brothers and sisters who get into the industry, they do business in Nigeria, but at the end of the day, it's either they are buying properties with faulty titles, they meet with miscreants who have no idea about real estate investments in Nigeria. They lose time, they lose money, they lose trust. Beyond all these three factors, trust appears to be the most painful part of it, because when you lose trust, you are not just losing trust for this season, you might be losing trust for the future. So Nigeria is suffering, in my opinion, from a place where we would have really grown faster if we were really able to manage our diaspora brothers and sisters who are willing to come into Nigeria to at least do the best that they can or the little that they can to also support the economy of our country. So you're very welcome, Glory. Nice to have you in the studio. All the way from where now? All the way from Ireland. Wow.
All over.
Initially I was thinking, should we have done this on Zoom? But I don't know. God just had a way of ordering your steps to Nigeria, then from Lagos to Abuja. Immediately I knew that you were in Abuja. I was like, no, I cannot miss this opportunity. I must make sure we'll have you here in the studio.
Thank
so it's really
you.
nice to have you back in Nigeria for a while.
Yeah.
And also to have you in the studio. So thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
So this is our podcast. It's going to just be like a conversation, right? And the only thing I would like to say firstly is that, is there more you'd like to tell us about yourself?
Yeah,
Yeah, I know there's a lot you have to say.
there's
but
a lot,
yeah.
No, not really. I think we can jump into the conversation. Just like you said, my name is Glory. I'm from Ireland. Love Nigeria. Even though I wasn't born or really raised here.
You're even Irish.
I'm even Irish. Wow.
Black Irish.
My mom asks me all the time, she's
Yeah.
like, what's your obsession with Nigeria?
Yeah.
And I was like, there's just something about the country.
Wow.
When you come in and the way you feel, the people, just the experience. I've always, I don't even understand it myself, but I suppose home is where the heart is, as they say. Yeah. So
It's really nice to have you here. I think this is my first interview with, apart from the Koreans that I have some relations with, business relations and CSR relationship with. This is the first time we're having a foreigner in our studio.
wow.
So it's one of our first. So we're very happy to have you actually.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's just dive right in. I wanted asking you how we met, because yesterday was the first time we saw physically.
Yeah.
But we've been talking on phone, WhatsApp calls for about 2 years plus now.
Yeah,
A
actually.
little over 2 years.
Yeah,
a little over 2 years.
Yeah.
So can you remember the first time that we had a conversation?
Wow, I think you're right. I think over the 2-year mark anyway,
Yes.
from what I can recall. So I was in the process of, I wanted to invest, and I wanted to invest in Nigeria. I didn't want to make an investment where my roots were, which is Benin City.
Yeah.
I was looking more like Lagos. I really liked the vibe of Lagos. And I'd already made a little bit of a blunder with a purchase. So I wanted to try again. And I decided, I said, okay, you know what? I need to do a little bit of research. I need to see. So I prayed about it.
Wow.
And then in the midst of my research, I came across your videos and I was intrigued and I was like, okay. I just felt a sense of sincerity.
Wow.
I felt a sense of
Doesn't mean I'm a sincere person.
Yeah. I felt I also do feel like, God was really leading me, because it wasn't just watching your videos. I took my time. I didn't just see your videos and reach out immediately. I watched a few videos, then went to do a little bit of digging, maybe stalked you a little bit.
Wow. That's interesting.
But from there, I took a leap of faith.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I think if I really want to do this, this is somebody that can assist me. And I think the other aspect as well was I was dealing with a company that had disappeared.
Yeah.
along with my money.
Yeah.
So when you were talking, I think there was one, you talked about companies and their infrastructure and how, they're supposed to operate. There was one of your videos talking along those lines. And I said, okay, maybe I can use this to...
Maybe this person understands
what's going on, Let me see if I can get my money back. And I just took a leap of faith and here we are.
So can you give us, because it appears that you already have experience with losing money in Nigeria.
Yes.
Are you okay to even mention the company's name? Because I feel that information is already in public domain, right?
Yeah.
I guess it was Agro Partnerships.
Yeah. So actually, I have been investing in Nigeria in my own little way. And, a few years back, a friend of mine who knew I was investing said to me, "Oh, have you thought about investing in agriculture? Agriculture?" And I said, "How? What do you mean? How do I go about it?" And she brought up the company and said, "Oh, Agro Partnership, they're really good. There's a good return on investment. This is how it works." So,
you have a good online presence.
Which over, across the pond, that's what we're used to. You go online, you read about it, everything is there. If you have any additional questions or curiosities, you ring up the company, you email them, which is what I did. And I had a good referral because it was a friend that brought my attention to the company. So I started. Okay. To be honest, for the first year, everything was going fine. I made a really good return on my investment.
Did you cash out that return?
No.
You reinvested?
I reinvested, okay. Yeah. Okay. That was one of my biggest mistakes, right? Because I was like, oh my God, this thing works, you know? And I knew people who were cashing out as well. But I didn't cash out because my long-term plan was to relocate.
Playing the long game.
Yes, you know, and I wanted to relocate. I wanted to kind of have money spread around.
Yeah.
And my second year, I came to Nigeria. I was like, okay, when I come to Nigeria, I'll take out some money and, was waiting and so I think I came to Nigeria February and I had requested a withdrawal December.
Yeah.
Expecting normally you should get your withdrawal within a week or so. Didn't get anything. I just saw a withdrawal pending for weeks and weeks and weeks. I said, okay, there's no problem.
So that means before now, you've been looking at your money growing. That's exactly. The digital money
the
on
digital
the
money was growing. It was looking good,
Then all of a sudden, the money is pending.
Yeah, the money was pending. Got in touch with the company at the time. I said, I've made a withdrawal. It's over 2 weeks. Why has it not dropped in my account? They said, oh, there's some technical issues. They're working on it.
The website is having a glitch.
Website is having a glitch, but I will get my money. I said, okay. Came to Nigeria, reached out to them again, reached out to my friends, reached out to people who I knew were also, had also invested in the business. And they were like, oh, no, everything is okay. I got my money. Don't worry, you get your money. I said, okay. So until I finally had to crack down and I was like, so this was almost the last conversation I had with them. I said, what's going on? You have canceled the withdrawal, putting the digital money back. I can see it, but I want the money.
Cash.
So they said, the company, I think around the time, the company released a notice about what was going on with them, issues with the EFCC and the director of the company, and apparently some registrations were not done. Anyway, they came up with some story and released it. So everybody was on high tension. People were looking for their money. What's going on? People talked online about a class action suit. I wasn't too familiar with the legal system in Nigeria, which I'm getting there little by little now.
Yeah. You have to familiarize yourself.
So it was a really long process of trying to recover the money until there was no communication.
Zero communication,
outreach, nothing.
No website.
So I came to the conclusion that money is digital. The money is digital,
The money is still in the digital space.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's been almost 3 years now, about that time.
Yeah. Nobody has reached out. Nobody has said anything. I think the last news I saw was that the CEO or director of the company ran away with the money or has done something. There's even a partner. I've forgotten the name of the partnering company that company was birthed out of. They said they have no involvement. It has nothing to do with them.
So everybody has abandoned that investment vehicle.
Yeah.
You see, I don't even know what to say. But one thing I know is this: you cannot really judge a company by maybe fair ladies talking about it online.
Yeah.
Beautiful people, everybody. Maybe somebody is standing behind a farm.
Yeah.
Somewhere. You don't even know where that farm is, and people are making videos.
Yeah.
You can't necessarily use like the social media presence of a company to really determine what that company is really about. I know that because I've worked for a particular investment company that also rose very high and also came crashing down.
Yeah.
I still do some level of advisory for a particular investment company that at least they are doing quite well. They are in that stable range.
Yeah.
And all that. So I know that sometimes things go south.
Of course.
And sometimes, things work. But when I'm not making this a lecture. I'm just trying to say that if you are looking with the eyes of investment due diligence, certain questions come to mind. Is this company properly registered? Who are the directors? Who are the subscribers? Who are the shareholders? Where is this company located? Who are their partners? With whom have they done business before? But it appeared that initially they were paying out and there was no issues, there were no issues with payment. But at the end of the day, the key question is, who is the regulator for that business?
Yes.
Has this company subjected themselves to regulatory oversight? Because what you find in the investment space basically is that a lot of companies, they use online mediums as a medium of purchasing. Should I say they purchase trust online?
Yes.
Once they get it right online, all the pictures are nice, everybody's looking good online, flashy.
Yeah.
Some people just believe that, if a company can be online and people are talking, that means it's a good company. But we've come to understand that it does not matter the phone they are using to talk online. Anything can go wrong with a company that is not regulated.
Yeah.
Even companies that are regulated, even in the investment space, many of them still go crashing down.
Yeah.
So it's really sad. And should I say I empathize?
Thank you.
But like you said, the money is still in the digital space. So that's like a good thing as well. So maybe one day.
One day. Maybe by that time it'll be $1 billion, No, I think you made a valid point there, because on paper, everything was 100%.
Yeah.
It was, I personally, I work in, I've worked with companies. I have seen the back end of, how things should run, registered. But the real issue there is the regulatory body is not doing enough with these companies. I think there needs to be more scrutiny with them, because, going back, it's your money, it's your sweat. You're not just going to throw it. And it wasn't, a small amount. I won't mention how much it was, but it wasn't a small amount of money at the time to put away for a young person, But and then the worst part of it, I think the other end of it for me is that when an issue arose, there was no recourse. There was nowhere to
really go to find information.
Exactly. Even information to be like, okay, you know what, I can go through this process and I can get this or I can get that. There's this security or that security. Even what was promised at the time was
because from the findings that we also did, you asked me to run some checks with SEC and all that. I think the summary of the transactions around agro partnerships was the fact that their investment was not a secured investment.
Yeah.
And I don't think they had anything they actually ran through SEC or SEC to really hold on to.
Yeah.
But another view basically is that when companies begin to go public with adverts and all that, there should be some level of, I don't want to call it regulatory retribution, but regulators can reach out to those companies. Even when the companies have not subjected themselves to, regulatory scrutiny, there should be a way that regulators find this data everywhere online. Regulators should also be able to reach out to these companies and let them know what the effect of their actions are if they do not come to submit themselves to that whole regulatory scrutiny. But I believe, like you said, the money is digital. It might be growing somewhere. We might not even know where the money is right now, but we just know that the money is somewhere.
I'll let you know.
The money is somewhere, So the other question that I wanted to actually find out from you was, because one would have thought that having lost so much money investing in Nigeria, you would have changed your mind about carrying out further investments in Nigeria. Like, what's your investment drive? Like, what's the drive behind your investment spirit? Because at least I've known you for a few moments and I can tell that restlessness that you have towards wanting to invest in Nigeria. You're so passionate about this country. What necessarily drives you? Why do you believe so much in the fact that Nigeria is a good investment destination?
A few things. I think, one, my roots are here.
Okay.
Two, I've seen the other side of the pond. I grew up in it. And, I always get this feeling, even though I grew up in Ireland, I believe I am Irish, but there are moments where you see a flicker of you're not one of us.
Yeah.
And when you really dial down to it, the world is in so much tension at the moment. And, there's so many issues with immigration and, roots and originality and all those questions coming about. And I really do believe that Nigeria is the giant of Africa. When I look through our history as a country, when I look through what we've been through, how we were, I feel like maybe if we were not colonized, we'd be much further than we are now. I realize that, in every action, there's a reaction, and that's what we're living to. But I still believe in the essence. I feel like we've not, even with everything we've been through, I still feel like we've not lost.
Everything we are going through.
And with everything we are going through, yes, we've not lost our essence. Nigeria is a country where a man can be nothing today and tomorrow be everything. Nigeria is a country where you can meet anybody anywhere at any time. Yeah. And, you just
I'm so happy the way, like, you're making me, you're giving this vibe of, I remember when Barack Obama had to make a speech introducing John Kerry for the Democratic National Convention. I think that election, John Kerry lost the election, but Obama now became a rising star. So you're giving that whole Obama vibes, I believe in this country. I have hope where the better days are ahead.
Well, I think that's too much praise.
Because when I returned back to Nigeria, like, somehow I used to be that person. I'm like, because one thing that being abroad kind of helps you, when you stay abroad for a while and you come into Nigeria or you come into Africa, like, it's like there's a part of your mind that opens up. Yeah. You begin to see possibilities where people are not seeing those possibilities. Yeah. You begin to see possibilities. Then you begin to have that genuine hope that something great is about to happen. Like, you are so passionate. Everybody around you may not be feeling that whole passionate vibe because they cannot see what you are seeing. But it almost looks like, in some cases, after a while, that vision, that thing that you are seeing,
goes down.
It begins to blow.
Yeah, it's like, so
it begins to look like, are you really seeing?
Was I blind?
Those kinds of things, they do happen. Yeah. So that takes me, like, to my next question. I know that you are a real estate investor, and the reason I say so is because we had the privilege of helping you to purchase your first property or your second property in Nigeria. What is that thing that propelled you to believe that maybe you could attempt owning real estate in Nigeria, considering all the stories of people being scammed? Maybe you hear stories of maybe somebody in the US sending money home to a brother or a cousin. Then maybe after 5 years, they are showing the person another building that...
Oh, God.
Imagine somebody is building another, somebody else is building a house somewhere else. Then the brother will be like, he went to snap another person's foundation.
Yeah,
So, boy, we are walking, as those people are building, the guy too is showing pictures. Then maybe the owner now says, let me even come from Italy, Belgium, Germany, US, Canada, Ireland. Let me come back to Nigeria. Let me come and see the work that has been done. Then it now becomes a story of, this guy has been flexing, turning the whole town red.
With my money.
With another person's sweat. So with all of those stories, and even stories of people buying into wrong title documents, somebody maybe they told the person the land is in Lagos, but the land is in Oyo State. Those kinds of things. Like, even with all of that, what really made you believe and trust the fact that you would not face something similar, even dealing with us? Like, what was the motivation for you taking that risk?
So I took all those stories. Yeah. Obviously, we've all heard them at this point. I took all those stories, and I decided how I wanted to go about it. Yeah. So I didn't want to go through someone directly. I didn't want to just, as you said, a brother, sister, auntie, uncle, send them the money and believing they would do the right thing by me and all that. And I also had a plan where I had, fortunately, due to COVID, was what really delayed my plans. I was trying to convince my mom that I want to relocate to Nigeria for some time and see what I could make of myself here. So I kind of took up all that information, and I'm a very calculative person. I don't just jump into major things. I take my time. I look at all the risks. I look at, what are the possible outcomes. Initially, I went to the market thinking I wanted to rent. And in that rental process, even though in the back of my mind, yes, I knew I wanted to buy, but I was like, okay, let me rent first. Yeah. And then from rental, I'll use that to take my time to scout for properties and get a right location and all that. So with all that in mind, fortunately for me, in the process of looking for somewhere to rent, which that in itself is a different conversation. Yeah. Because renting in Lagos, I don't know why, but it is what it is. Yeah. I came across a property that was so ideal, made sense, price was right, and I said, okay, it looked too good to be true. Yeah. I don't know if you remember our conversation. I said, I've seen something, and I had friends, so with all that, found the property, and I said, okay, before we jump into it, I think we were. That property was found in June, but we didn't finalize until August, which things move a lot faster than that in Lagos, right? Yeah. But we took our time, and I just told myself, if it's mine, it's going to be there. And we started.
We really checked. We checked to the point that even the person selling was like, you guys are checking too much. But don't worry, go ahead, be checking.
Yes. So I had to do that. I had to put in extra measures in place for myself so that those examples you just gave would not happen. But that's not to say that you could do all of that and still end up,
That's really the sad part somehow. Somebody was telling me a story, somewhere in Abuja. I don't know if it's, but I think I can share this. The story is more like, and is a real story. Mm. The land regulator in that area council, they necessarily, for verification, they necessarily don't rely on the regulator. Mm. They rely on somebody who used to work in that particular office. Okay. The person will touch the paper. He will look at the ink. Like the guy is like, I don't know. He's like a forensic guy. Okay. Like he will look at the paper. Whisperer. He will touch the paper. Yeah. He will look at the paper texture. So he's the person that almost everybody goes to say whether a land is genuine or is fake. Wow. One individual.
So what happens when he's no more or he relocates?
Sincerely, if that guy is not around, if he travels, if you want to buy land in that area, people will tell you, don't worry, wait till this man has traveled. He may spend like a week. Wow. Let's just wait till he comes back. Wow. So that he can spot that this paper is either fake or genuine. So you can see that you cannot necessarily build a system with that kind of, with that kind of an approach. So I believe that it was a good thing that we took our time, checked. We had to go to the root of title. To find out, okay, who were the first owners that purchased this property? Who else purchased it? Okay, there's a joint venture agreement in place. Who are the parties to that JV? How did this person that we want to buy from, how did he come about the title that he has for him to now say, okay, I want to sell this property and bestow on you this particular title? You know, that was what really took time. Then we did a lot of double checking.
Then we had
you were checking, we were also checking, because even me, I was just like, I don't want to be part of a deal that I will now go and delete my Instagram profile.
I'm done.
I will now be missing. Because that money is the kind of money that some people work for in a lifetime they don't find. So when you have the funds, and I always tell clients most times, it's not really about you having the money. If you spent like a year getting all of that fund together, don't be in a hurry. In 2 weeks, you want to just give it out. It doesn't make any, in my view, it doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely.
You take your time, you check, you recheck, you double check. Although all those processes of even running checks, sometimes you might lose a deal, but you didn't lose your money.
Yeah, that's true.
It's better to lose a deal than to lose your own investment. Although some people will say, okay, you're a risk taker. If you lose it, you lose it. But you cannot say if you lose it, you lose it to the money that you know how hard you worked, to get the funds and all of that. So that's really one of the things that we felt that we needed to do to make sure that we also don't have a bad name. Because even the way we structured everything, sending people to different places, double checking on everything, like that's something I'm really very happy about. And I'm also happy that at the end of the day, you were able to get what you want. But I want to also find out, like, did you have any fears? Like, were you worried at any point? Were you scared at any point in this entire process? Were you like, could it be that my money might go? Like, did you know that?
I think the money aspect came at the end.
Yes.
I think I was very lucky. I have to say this, and you may feel like, oh, I'm tooting your horn, but no, I was very lucky that I wasn't going through it by myself. I felt that it was a partnership that we had, because you weren't just, the process, the way we went through the process, it wasn't just that I needed you to do this and you just went away to do it. That I was kept in the dark. I had no idea what was going on. You were communicating with me. You were updating me. I knew who was who. So it wasn't like at the end, I'm like, oh, this is how it was done. So I don't know what was done. I was included in the process of everything that was happening.
That means you can almost buy land for somebody now.
You get, like, I have my honorary, certificate.
You've gathered a lot of experience as well.
It was all of that, and stepping in when I needed to step in was really good. But those fears are always there in business. Business is taking a risk in anything you're doing, whether it's personal or it's commercial. I thought to myself, I said, okay, I think at one point when speaking even with the seller, I was like, I don't think he's going to wait for us to do.
No, he needed to have a sale happen. Quickly.
So quickly. I felt, I was like, because I think I was checking with you at one point. I was like, do you think we will get I really wanted, because I was
the guy was even like, my office is here, check me out. I made this. Like, he was very sure of himself.
Yeah.
But
it was too sure. Like, somebody in Lagos being, it was just kind of like, okay.
I also feel like he has like a diaspora affiliation himself, because
possible.
I just, because of the way he went about the deal itself, I don't want to say he wasn't cocky, but he was firm about the things that he knew. And sometimes when we ask some certain questions, he will feel like we are wasting his time. Do you want to buy, or you just want to talk about buying? Things like that. But this takes me like to another thing I've had in mind. Like, what are the major fears that diasporans have, in doing business in Nigeria?
Mistrust. Finding somebody to trust is, I think, the biggest one. I can say that from personal experience and from friends and family that have gone through similar processes. Like, my mom is into real estate as well. She has been for years, even before she left Nigeria. And, I mean, a lot of money has been wasted, lost in that process. Mistrust. And it's not just mistrust of a stranger, it's also mistrust of family, friends, you know.
That one cuts deep.
It really does, because you can imagine somebody who has relocated. Life is very stressful abroad. You know, they say people feel like grass is greener on the other side because you've not gotten there.
Abroad, you walk your ass off, man.
You get, you know, and then the time you have to yourself, that is the time for you to get other things done. So at the end of the day, you have no time. You know, time is money, as they say. And when you take all of that and you're like, you know, I feel like my retirement, or I feel like I want to give myself a better life, that, okay, if I'm going to sacrifice the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, you know, doing this, I want to be able to be in a better place than when I left. I mean, you have people that relocated to Europe or America or Canada, and by the time they come back, they are worse off.
Wow.
You know, than when they left. And it's like, I should have just stayed in America or Canada or Europe, you know? So it's all those things. And, you know, I really wish Nigerians understood that as you're working for your money, that's how we work for our money too. You know, somebody said something to me, you know, there was a time that I said, no, it's because of all these people that are doing all this, you know, illegal things. And I said, I mean, that's everywhere. Illegality is not secluded. Or
it's not an African
It's not an African thing. In fact,
chip or microchip.
We're not even the best at it, you know.
We're not the best at illegality.
No, we're not. We're not.
But we shout a lot.
But we shout a lot about it. Yeah. We're not the best, but you know, it's just we're loud, you know. So I think that's really it. And I think the other thing as well there is the process. You know, for example, I can reach out to a developer in Europe. Now, I'm not saying they're all perfect or it's 100% system, but for the majority, I can reach out to a developer, or I can see a development coming up, reach out to the office and say, I'm interested. What do I need? I will be, you know, a communication will happen. I'll be told what is needed. I can then go ahead and sign. In fact, money is the last thing to come into play, like the same process that we had, you know, and do everything that's needed. And by the time the money aspect comes into it, I'm dropping my funds and I'm collecting my key and I'm taking my deed or, you know, whatever documentation comes with it. But it's not the same in Nigeria. I have to, like, sometimes just for example, just renting alone, you could be dealing with 3 different agents. So you have an agent of an agent of an agent.
Yeah, sometimes the trail can be even about 7 people for one deal.
And there's no need for that. You know, I can't find properties. I can't go online and find a property and be confident that the property I found, what is stated is what it is.
Wow.
You know, sometimes you're driving through. I think I had to ask somebody one time. I said, why are people putting on their buildings, this property is not for sale? I was like, what's all that about?
You buy at your own risk.
You get? So somebody had to explain to me, it was like, oh yeah, because people, you know, maybe there's an issue with that land or property and, you know, that is why some properties have to write.
You know how the story was told of, there was this story in the early days then, I think during the Obasanjo era. I think there was this guy who sold maybe the Maurice Hala Mohammed International Airport, like an individual. Okay. Yeah, I think the video is online. Yeah, you know, so
I've heard
somebody you can imagine somebody took foreigners to an airport and said, this is my airport. So that's how it works in real estate.
Yeah.
Somebody may not even have any linkage to that property.
Yeah.
But he would go to the property, take people there, show them dimensions, walk around the place, give them a history about the location.
Yeah.
You know, like just give the impression that he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
In fact, I even had a friend, there was a friend of mine who bought a property somewhere in Abuja, and I think the documents were cloned. So the property had already been sold to somebody else. But when the guys that took him there, they said it's their property, like they looked clean, everything. They brought documents, he checked the documents. They said the document was okay, but he did not go through the man that normally checks.
The documents. Ooh, big mistake.
So it just happens that people just want to sell anything, whether it's theirs or not.
Yeah.
And if they have the power of persuasion, then they can definitely make deals happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens a lot real estate wise. People are selling what they don't own.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, people buy into properties. At the end of the day, they lose their money, they lose the investment, they lose everything.
Yeah.
So but I would like to know from you, when you made the payment, when Doctor took the first payment, I think we made payment twice or something, in 2 installments.
Yes.
Was there at any point where you were like scared, like when money had already left your account?
No.
You didn't entertain any fear?
No, I didn't. Like I said, I'm one of the I consider myself to be one of the few very lucky people that I had, somebody working with me. Yeah. Well trusted. Look, like I said, I don't know you from Adam. I took a leap of faith and
we met
glory be to God.
On Instagram.
On Instagram. Yeah, like, I'd never seen you.
Yeah.
In fact, I will be honest, when my family knew, they were like, lawyer in Nigeria. I said, that's what he is, And what company, I got a lot of questions, some grillings. I said, calm down. I know what I'm doing. Just, relax. Because I'm not going to lie. If it turned out to be a bad deal, it would have been devastating.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that hope we talked about would have been gone.
Yeah.
Would have just been like, what, let's just shut it down.
I'm done with this country for good.
I'm not interested anymore. So by the time, and like I said, the seller, we verified the seller, we verified the property, we verified the developer. We had done everything. There's nothing but I don't think there's anything when you talk about a risk assessment that we left out.
Yeah, true. Very true.
So when, we got to that point, I had full confidence. Yeah. You didn't disturb me that, okay, I needed to put the money into your account and you be the one to do the transfer. There was no like...
I didn't even want to take that risk.
Maybe if we even had that conversation, I would have been like,
No, but to think of it, because of course I'm in the legal space and I've met with I've met with different kinds of lawyers.
Yeah.
There are lawyers that you can't even make that payment on your own because they may not really care so much about building trust. Just send us the money, let us hold the money, then we'll pay on your behalf. Those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But I just felt, okay, this is your deal, and somehow we were working on the deal together. It was not something that, okay, I was working on for you.
Yes.
You were 100% involved. We had calls, Zoom meetings, different things that had to go on with that transaction. And it never really crossed my mind to even have that thought of pay the money to me, let me know. Because what people do, and I'm sorry to say, when you see deals that are looking like that, not all the time, sometimes it's the professionals behind the deal may use that scenario as a bargaining chip with the seller.
Yeah.
So you pay to them, they now see, can they get a better deal?
Yes.
So at the end of the day, maybe property is like 100 million.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, this guy has agreed to take 90. They don't communicate that 10 difference to you. You still pay the legal fees on the whole sum.
On top of it,
They've taken out the excess from that transaction.
Yeah.
But you still get your property at the end of the day anyways.
But you paid extra.
But I think it was more of like, it was a good way to actually go through on that transaction. You having to hold your money, but follow through on all the processes. Yeah. So I feel that for people who are actually buying, sometimes it may, if there's already trust between maybe a professional and the person who's buying and everybody is already in sync, it's really not a big deal from whose account the money goes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's my view. So that professionals don't put buyers under pressure of, you must send the money to me. I'm the person. No. It's not compulsory. I'm just saying it's not compulsory. This might not be a very popular view, but it's actually not compulsory.
You're ruffling a few feathers.
Yeah, I guess so. It's actually not compulsory.
But I think it was also a good foundation for our professional relationship and, being able to work with you on other projects. I mean, we have other things on ground. So that's what I think people don't understand and they don't get. And I find the Nigerian system just being, let me get what I can get and let me move on.
Yes.
There's no really that.
No after sale
it's
support
like,
system.
Once
a deal is done, it's done. Everybody carry on. I think that people who do the extra actually build the foundation for the next deal.
Yeah.
So even if you are a real estate lawyer out there, or you're a real estate professional, you're a salesperson, and you just end at transferring documents and you think that's it, I think that's where exchanging, when the documents move to the new owner of the property, for example, that's where you should begin to think of building another relationship, not necessarily just focusing on the fact that, okay, this person, I've gotten my commission, I'm gone, I've disappeared. Now let me go and look for the next person. The next person might actually flow from that current deal that you are currently working on. So I feel people should go the extra mile to ask additional questions. Questions as simple as, what else can I do for you?
Yeah.
You've already collected your money, but you can still ask those questions. What else? Is there anything else you'd like me to do for you?
Yeah.
That's like an additional, don't mind me, I'm remembering my Santander days in Glasgow where we used to do like customer service and all of those things.
Going above and beyond for the customer.
Yeah, things like that.
Absolutely. But it's not even talking about above and beyond. You are also helping yourself. Some people will say, oh, why should I have to do that? If they have anything else, they should just call me. But you've not built a relationship.
Yeah.
There's nothing there for me to, we had a conversation. I had an issue and I could call you. I said, look, I'm doing this. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
And we could have a conversation and you're like, okay, you know what? I think I can, it's not something that it's your everyday, you're not, but let me at least have a look into it for you.
Fact, that's, I already have an idea for that singular thing I did for you. Although you paid me and I'm happy. But I went there several times, did many transport to and fro. It took me time, but I'm now looking at that particular service from a different lens now. Yeah. How can we upscale that little thing, make it digital, then just funnel people through that whole pattern?
Yeah.
You already have the contacts there. You have these contacts here. So it's already like a product that can be deployed for more persons. I wouldn't have known so much about that if I didn't apply myself to something new that you wanted to do here in Nigeria that I was able to assist you with and all that. So beyond the money I got paid, I think the experience is much more than the funds. And I'm thinking, I need to make money from this too, This
is my commission. My commission, you guys.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. So if somebody like you approach somebody who's outside of the country, or let's say tomorrow, something comes up and you called me and said, Glory, I have this available, I have that, I'd be so inclined. Yeah. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So it's... Already there's a Discord, this black tax everybody's talking about now. And everybody's trying to survive. Like things are, after COVID, it hit everybody hard. Wow. I keep telling people that are around me, I said, you guys have it so easy here. You think you have it hard. Well, in a sense, it's not.
Okay, you're saying it's easy to be a Nigerian right now.
To be in Nigeria. In a sense, right?
Is it easier for you to be in Nigeria, or is it easier for us who are in Nigeria?
So let me put it this way.
Okay, because I need to really understand.
It is easier for either me or you.
Yes.
Actually, let me put it this way. I think it is easier for a Nigerian to be in Nigeria. And I'll explain why, right? I'm talking about systems, certain systems. Okay. For me now that I live outside of the country, I reside there, that is my base, right? Yeah. When it comes to living my everyday life, bills, I'm looking at weekly, I'm looking at monthly. Do you understand me? But direct debits, everything coming out weekly, monthly, right? There's hardly anything that you're paying for that is yearly. But for example, like, somebody approached me a while ago and they were like trying to talk to me about their rent. I was like, you have 12 months
to plan
for that rent. I don't have 12 months. Like, if something happens to me the month before,
wow,
I have 30 days
to figure it out.
So you understand this?
I actually know what that feels. I lost a job once in Glasgow. And when you look at your account, you're like, what you have in your account might not even take you the next 45
Thank
days.
you.
So you need to
You need to be planning. You're planning 2-3 months, 6 months ahead of yourself. And if anything happens, so in that aspect, that is why I say, I'm not saying everything's not perfect. No, absolutely not. But there are certain things that we have the liberty of or the privilege of in Nigeria that we don't have abroad. You know, if anything happens to you, or even, let's say, for example, if you're lucky that you have family here, family can help you out. There, if you're a single parent, is you and your child.
Then government
own is, they will give you,
if you're not on benefits,
they will give you small change. But calculate how much you pay for creche if your child is even going to creche.
Some people pay the creche even much more than they earn.
Some people in a month they're paying over 2,000 for creche. So it's all those things that I feel like we take for granted. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm very lucky to be abroad, grow up abroad, know the abroad system. For me, I feel like the only power I really have is currency. Outside of the currency, I'm like, if I needed to swap, if I could even get half of what I make over there and have this more relaxed life, it'd be worth it. I mean, one of the biggest issues we have in Europe right now is mental health. Everywhere you go, everybody's talking about mental health. I'm depressed. I'm tired. I'm stressed. I'm this. But how do you deal? How do you deal with that? You find ways around it. I mean, by the time you're thinking about your bills, don't worry. And it's not even a thing of like, okay, if I don't pay next month, somebody's going to be knocking on my door. It's just, they have a system that works. There's a process. So if my landlord gives me a notice, meaning he's gone to the courts, he's done XYZ, there's no please, there's no I beg. It is, you've gotten a notice, you need to be out at this time. Then you have to go through, like, at the moment in Ireland and other parts of Europe, there's a housing crisis. There's no homes. There isn't enough homes for everybody that is in the country, right? So you have to then go through the process of trying to find a property again to rent. And then your rent might multiply by 30%, 50%, 100% sometimes. And you have to make up that money. Fine, there's governmental support, but those things only go so far. Do you get what I mean? So imagine having that thought every month. It's not even like, oh, you have to think about it every year.
It's a lot to deal with, actually.
So for me,
a whole lot to deal with.
I can't afford, I know the things I can't afford to do. And because I know the things I cannot afford to do, I keep pushing. I don't think about if it's too much, you take a holiday, you visit family, you pray to God, something like, I have to say, who doesn't have God? I don't know how y'all are doing it, but can somebody let me know? Because
sincerely, like
that is really my number one.
God is like, I don't even want to call God the last resort. He's the first resort. Yeah.
He's everything.
Like
sometimes you're left with 10 pounds or 10 euros in your account and you're like, my electricity is going to switch off in 2 days. I haven't paid or maybe your phone subscription just went off. Or maybe there's a direct debit and you're sure and you're just like, God, I need something. So you don't just do, like me personally, I don't just do my 9 to 5. I actually have multiple things I do. So sometimes, if the year before, about 2 years now, I've been selling plantain. This plantain that we are,
like explain,
I literally will go to the depot. Let me explain it.
Are you for real?
I'm not joking. So I will work Monday to Friday, my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Then on Thursday, as early as 5 a.m., I will wake up with my car. I will drive I was able to find where they sell wholesale, right? Drive about an hour, 30 minutes, just going at 5 a.m. in the morning, get there about 6, 7.
And it's cold.
Oh, freezing. Buy as many boxes of plantain as I can get.
Oh my goodness.
Post on my WhatsApp to my community.
Yeah.
And then I was able to find a small market about 30 minutes away from me. So by Thursday morning, keep it in the car or somewhere cool. Saturday morning, as early as 6 a.m., drive to the market, park, open my boots, and sell boxes of plantain.
Wow.
Now, I may make like an extra whatever for me. You see that extra that I'm making is the difference between sometimes after my wages come in and all the direct debits have gone.
Yeah.
That may be my money. That would be like, okay, do you have money, like pocket money?
Wow.
If anything pops up, if there's any issue that you can like... Do you get what I mean?
You know, this perspective is really very important, that people have this balance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because when some people see snow like this, they'll be like, oh boy, see snow. See snow. Snow is falling. You know, boss.
Who's snow head? Who's snow head? You will see the snow, you will still wear your jacket, you put on your gloves, you put your boots on, you know, you put your scarf, you're like, all right, let's go. You know?
Oh my goodness.
Some people, it's braiding hair. It's like, okay, I've done my 9 to 5, but it's not enough. And this is coming from somebody who, fortunately for me, I have been privileged, at least in the last 10 years, to work really good jobs. Like you're talking about really good standard international companies, working very well. You know, being in the positions that I'm in. In fact, I have people who are not even working as good, you know? So imagine somebody in that sort of space and in that field, and yet you're trying to build something for yourself. You're like,
the extra.
You have to do the extra. Yeah. You have to put something extra. You know, you have to always think, okay, anything can come up. Anything. You know, you're like, oh, I've done this, I've done that. You know, sometimes I'm like, I've paid my car insurance. Like somebody was complaining about insurance in Nigeria. And I was like, how much is it? When I heard, and I said, are you kidding me? Do you know how much my car insurance is? And if I don't have it, I can't be on the road. Like, you know, if you get cheap car insurance, like this is a whole section in itself, you know, like I was explaining to my husband, I think yesterday or before yesterday, and I told him, I said, buying a car is the cheapest thing. Before you can put that car on the road, it needs to have, in Ireland, it needs to have NCT, which you do either every year, depending on the year of your car, or every 2 years, or if it's a brand new car, you get 5 years before you start, right? Then you have to have insurance. Your insurance can be, if I give the Naira equivalent, you could be paying anything from, let's say, 500,000 to millions, right?
Every month.
Every year.
Every year.
Right? And then you break it down into monthly, right? If you're doing monthly payments or you pay for the year. Now, the good thing is, if anything happens to you, you have an accident, somebody hits you, whatever, you have insurance, right? But if nothing happens to you, that's money that is just, it's
somebody
like giant, you know, like, and then on top of that, you have what we call road tax. So depending on the size of your engine, there's an amount you pay.
See a lot of those very small, tiny stuff on the road.
Do you get what I mean?
Nigerians don't even like to see those kind of cars, you know, because we like the heavy stuff, big engine, you know. When you're coming into your, people should know that you're arriving.
Do you get, like, most of the cars...
But that comes at a huge cost abroad.
Exactly. Yeah. A huge cost. And then let's not talk about petrol and diesel that you have to fuel your car with. So your car alone, if you have a car... what it's costing you every single week or every single month. So, you know, that's when people are like, oh, we need to go abroad. Abroad is where it is. I'm like, okay, come now.
Come and join us.
The more the merrier.
We are not enough there.
We are not enough. We need more. Please.
We need more people.
This is a call. Come. We are welcoming you. You people should come. But
I'm really, we're about wrapping this up already. And I'm really happy that, you know, like, this conversation has not just been about your real estate purchase experience in Nigeria, your investment loss in Nigeria. Like, you've also shared, like, the value systems that people should naturally work with, whether you're in Nigeria, whether you're in Europe. Like, imagine some people here, if you tell somebody here now, wake up 5 o'clock to go and do something. No, by 5 o'clock, they're still deeply sleeping. People start getting up, like maybe in Lagos, but Abuja lifestyle, by 5, why should you wake up by 5 o'clock? What's the problem?
It's not that deep. Like, what am I looking for?
It's not that serious. Just do your 6 o'clock, by 7:30, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, you're at work. And it's that simple. But it's good that I can see hard work. I can see that tenacity, that whole propensity to do big things and to start with doing the small things.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud. You're making Nigeria proud. And I'm happy that you are one of those investors that really still believe in the Nigerian dream, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what the Nigerian dream is really about. Nigerians are just in that place where people are just in that get by mode.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, help me get by.
Yeah.
Let me just get by.
Yeah.
I don't care about the politics. Just let me get by.
Yeah.
Like a lot of my friends, people I talk to, people just want to succeed. They just want to make something for themselves. But lastly, and this is where you do like some real marketing for us,
Oh, okay.
Would you recommend working with us to others and why?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I can cross my leg now and listen to this part.
Yes, I can scream.
So this is the part that we are going to put on shorts, like the whole world.
No, with all sincerity, if you are in the diaspora and you are looking to invest in Nigeria, and luckily, you were in Abuja, I was looking to invest in Lagos. We were able to make it work, and I believe we can reach any part of Nigeria. Yes, I really commend the company. I commend the relationship. I'm so glad. Hat off. Even though I want to keep you as my personal, I don't want anybody to spoil this for me. But no, 100%. If you are really, really looking, whether you're looking to invest, looking to retire, looking to, maybe you've started investing already and you want to tidy things up and make it more, manageable for yourself. Yeah, you're the guy to go to.
Wow.
Yeah. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I can't pay for this really. But I'm happy that we are not doing this on Zoom. I'm happy that this is like a live studio record. So the last question that I have, maybe the second to the last, is what would you say to Nigerians in the diaspora who are still stuck between fear, the fear of investing, between fear and intention, or fear and desire? Like, how do people transition from fear? What can they do to transition from I'm scared, scammers full everywhere, fraudsters everywhere, and all that? Like, how do people transition from fear and move to, really getting something done?
I believe that we are the ones that can make our country the way we want it to be. The countries we've flocked to, Europe, America, Canada, Brazil, wherever, those countries put in effort. It's their people. Government has its own parts, but it is the people. That is the country. For those that still have fears, the only advice I can give you is do your due diligence. Don't let anybody sweet talk you. It's not, especially for business, if, you may not even be a business person, you may have no idea where to start from. That is where companies like yours come into play. Start small. If your fear is so great, start small. Make sure you have a purpose for what you are doing. Wow. Have your reason for what you are doing. Start small, and from small, begin to develop. And I think the other thing as well, a lot of people in the diaspora do that I would advise against. If you know you do not have the ability to travel back home, maybe it's not time for you to start investing.
Okay.
And I say that because
I think I get what you're saying.
You can't just throw money. What you can do instead is gather that money, put it somewhere, find the time, even if it's a week. Like I said, companies like yours and your company is great, but there's only so much you can handle.
Yeah.
Right? If you can have the conversation, find a partnering company like that to work with, fine. But you need to come and see what you're investing in.
Be in
your
the loop.
eyes, be in the loop.
Don't just outsource everything.
Let whoever you're working with needs to report back to you. If they feel that, it's too much for them to send you a text, to call, an email, then maybe those are the people you should not be working with. Now, not to say that is necessarily a bad thing, but because there's so much damage that has already been done, those extra steps needs to be taken by anybody that is serious about really building up the integrity of this country when it comes to any form of business that you're looking to do. So that is what I would say. Fear is inevitable. Waking up in the morning, going out there, anything can happen. But if you really mean, set out your goal, start small, look for companies that you can partner with, and most importantly, don't throw money at everything. Make out time. Come in. You don't need to you don't need to tell your family. You don't need to, because I that's another aspect as well for me. A lot of my coming, I didn't really let family know all the time because I feel, it's like my auntie is coming, my uncle is coming, so they come and they cloud, and it's a good thing, right? Especially if they've not seen you in years and years. But come with the intentionality. I want to do business. I want to make an investment.
Yes.
Come and see for yourself. Experience the people. Look at the area. You may not be able to do everything you want to do, but have a sense of where you want to put your money. So that is what.
Thank you so very much. The last thing I would like to say is a shout out to your husband, Mr. Emmanuel Intino, right?
Intino.
Thank you so much for granting Glory. I don't want to use the P word, the P. I wouldn't really call it a permission. I would rather say the opportunity.
No, my husband allowed me to be here. Yes, Mr. Intinu.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
We didn't take this for granted at all. And I'm sure that, this session would be, how do I put it now? This session would help other people to make the right decisions about they doing business from the diaspora in Nigeria. It's just something to let people know that you can still do business the right way.
Of course.
Nigerian companies here, Cashmore Resources Limited. Those are. So we can help you. We can work with you. We necessarily don't always need to work for you. We can work side by side with you till we get everything right.
Yeah.
I think that level of collaboration is actually better for building trust.
Yeah.
And for making sure that everybody's carried along with respect to, the services that we provide here in Nigeria. I used to be in the diaspora before, but I'm here now.
Yeah.
And somehow I'm beginning to think, should I return to, I'm just in that whole bubble right now.
Don't come, we'll
I'm still here.
Don't worry, do our business for us. We need somebody on ground. Don't come.
It's really been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Glory. Thank you for making it. In fact, when I knew you were coming to Abuja, I was like, you must come into this studio. And I'm very grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you to all our viewers. And please do like this video, share, subscribe. Bring your business to us. We can handle it. If you want to buy an airport, we can help you buy it.
Anything at all.